take this fight on 2 weeks' notice with me, whoop your 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I butchered your face. I KO'd you. You were curled up like like butchered your body. You couldn't even lift your hands up. You couldn't even lift your hands up. You can do that all you want, but at the end of the day, that speaks for itself. And you hit the deck like a.
The prime years of Conor McGregor were simply unlike anything we've ever experienced in mixed martial arts. It wasn't just the fights, the wins, the knockouts. No, he also revolutionized the mental warfare aspect of the game. And though his trash-talking approach spawned dozens of rip-off fighters, there was only one Conor McGregor.
Honestly, I'm half Irish, right? I'm half Irish. I'm disappointed in the country of Ireland right now that this is their representative. This is your representative. Where is he? Where is he?
A lot can change in the cage on fight night. And for this video, we're going to take a look at the radical difference between these fighters when they believed they could beat Conor, and how they looked when they realized they could not. Here's what UFC fighters look like before and after fighting Conor McGregor. Few fighters managed to get mentally untangled quite as much as Dustin Poirier did in his first clash with Conor. Poirier was almost getting bullied by Conor, as the Irishman fed on what he saw as mental fragility. Poirier was doing his best to dismiss Conor's trash talk as empty noise, but it was becoming very clear that it was really bothering him.
You're fine with him going out, doing what he's got to do here. Like, I mean, obviously selling the fight, making it interesting. You're fine with all that because you get the fight.
Right, no, I need that. That's good for me because he says all this and then I beat him up. You know, it's great for me. I feel like you need guys like this in your career. And but he believes it, man. And like I said, I don't. So, but it doesn't affect me, you know, as a fighter or as a person. Have a lot of amateur fights, and you know, this is my 11th fight in the UFC, so I've been around the press and stuff like that, but never fought somebody who talked as much trash, you know. But I know all the trash talk and all the fans and stuff doesn't matter. September 27th, it's me and him. So
on fight night, it came together even more smoothly. Dustin looked overly aggressive and not tuned in to the task at hand, leading to one of Conor's fastest victories to date. Here's the interesting part. As the years went on, Poirier began to mature into a wiser man, growing out of his angsty youth, while still developing as a fighter. When he got his rematch 7 years later, boy was he ready.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously a great fighter, finishing a bunch of guys before me in his early UFC career. But at this point, we're both so much more established and have so much more experience. Just more mature fighters, and I think you get a completely different fight here. I was very emotional in that first one. I wanted to hurt the guy. This time I just want to outsmart him, just want to beat him, and that's it. This is business. This isn't any ill will towards the guy. You know, when I was younger, I used to fight with a lot of emotion. This isn't the same thing for me.
It was impossible for him to avoid watching his old rival climb to the top of the fight game. But the Diamond was ready for his own slice of the pie.
I don't think this guy is who he says he is, and then he went on to do the things he's done. Even when Conor beat me, of course I watched his rise. He was on fire coming in, knocking people out. And even after he beat me, I was like, he beat me. And I was like...
It's fun to point out that McGregor later returned the favor, being a good sport about his TKO defeat in the rematch, at least for a short while. Then he proceeded to do a dramatic U-turn in their trilogy fight, becoming the biggest post-fight villain of all time.
Just boxing the bleeding head off him, kicking the bleeding leg off him. Usual side dive to close the distance. This is not over. If we had to take this outside with him, it's all outside. We don't give a
Do you think there's any need for a fourth showdown between these two guys? Or have we seen enough in the last two to know that Poirier is the superior fighter? Chad Mendes was simply no match for Conor on the mic. That much was clear from the earliest stages of their bout's buildup.
How tall are you, buddy?
5'9".
All right, I'm 5'6".
You're 5'4" at least.
Three inches taller than me, buddy.
5'4" at least.
You should stand up because we can barely
Yeah.
see you on the screen.
Yeah, all right. This is the way I look at Conor. Conor, when I look at Conor's a big talker. Conor's brought so much attention to this division, so much attention to the UFC recently. He talked his way all the way up to the top. When I look at Conor, I see dollar signs in my bank account. You know, Conor, I match up horrible for this guy. Conor, do you know what wrestling is?
I could
Have you ever
rest
been-
my on your forehead.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, he was in a tough spot, taking the fight on short notice, but he was also very clearly out of his depth. By the time fight week came, Conor's mental warfare magic was in full effect. You all know what happened next. It was a 2-round thriller, a classic wrestler versus striker showdown that culminated in a dramatic second-round KO for the Notorious. Chad was humbled by the defeat at first, showing himself to be a good sport, solidifying his reputation after a solid performance.
Yeah, man, I mean, first off, I want to thank Conor for even accepting on 2 weeks. I mean, he was training for Aldo that entire time. I mean, that's a completely different matchup for him, and I mean, the guy's tough. I mean, hands down, the guy's got the talk to back it up, and you know, what's awesome is these Irish guys you guys are crazy.
However, he couldn't leave it at that, and then proceeded to remind McGregor of how much trouble he had him in as soon as the opportunity arose.
All right, next question.
I wanted to speak to you. I did want to speak to you because you called yourself the Mike Tyson of the featherweight division.
Stop drinking the
I just want to ask you a question. You called yourself the Mike Tyson of the featherweight division, and I marched forward, stood in the pocket, and said, "What have you got?" And you hit like a fucking strawweight. You hit like a strawweight.
Was this truly the best night of the Conor McGregor experience? Let us know your pick for his career highlight in the comments below. Despite not being adept at speaking English, there is no doubt that Jose Aldo was feeling the effects of Conor McGregor's constant harassment of him during the build-up to both UFC 189 and UFC 194. Conor even resorted to speaking to him through his translators in order to drive his point home.
Tell him I'm his daddy. Tell him I'm his daddy.
I really don't care. Like, he
Tell
can
him I'm
talk
his
whatever
daddy.
he wants, and I'll continue to be the champion.
He said, tell him he's his daddy.
My father raised me like this, like a man.
Tell him I
he's
said
not.
I am his daddy.
Ele tá falando que ele é o seu pai.
Nunca vai ser.
Sit on my lap.
Nunca vai ser. Tá mais fácil.
Sit on my lap.
Eu domino.
Sit on my lap.
Eu domino tudo.
You'll never be. He dominates the.
I am
Eu
your daddy.
domino.
It's crazy to think about this now, but there were quite a few people who believed that Aldo had psyched Conor out at the weigh-ins on Friday night by imitating his karate stance. Funny how wrong they were. When push came to shove, Aldo was furious in there, abandoning his patient and methodical approach in favor of launching himself at his opponent, leading to his 13-second demise. Though it took a while, Jose eventually softened to Conor as the years went on, never fully putting the idea of a rematch out of his mind, but at the very least being friendly enough with Conor to exchange the occasional text message. Eddie Alvarez certainly had some positive moments during the build-up to his UFC 205 super fight with Conor.
To you. Hey, the UFC's good because of the fighters and the fights.
Okay.
You were on welfare, bro.
Okay, then
you ain't no man. You took welfare.
Okay,
don't talk about money. Don't you talk about money.
Then
you
what wasn't it
you
at
took
that
money
place
from
there?
single moms. Single moms go on welfare, not men.
Conor,
you don't talk about money, all right? Keep your mouth shut when it talks about money.
Conor, you're going for history, mate. The first man to hold 2 UFC titles at once.
You'll be back on welfare after this one.
You boys go take it away for me.
He clearly enjoyed playing the villain a bit, even if he had absolutely no idea how bad things would eventually get for him.
Are you prepared to take down Conor McGregor?
I'm prepared to completely destroy Conor McGregor and silence this whole damn crowd. Thank you for coming.
On fight night, whatever game plan Eddie had ended up going absolutely nowhere. In other words, he was a sitting duck in this fight. Alvarez just seemed disappointed in himself more than anything in his post-fight interviews.
Eddie, obviously not the result you were looking for. How are you feeling right now?
Disappointed. I didn't fight a good fight. I think I went in with a plan and stick to the plan. I think I paid for it. So.
What was the plan that you wanted to stick to?
I think it was more to kick and wrestle, not to box so much, not to throw so many hands. Kind of got lulled a bit into his game and paid for it.
Did you feel like there was something about the way he was approaching the fight that made you continue to keep it on the feet?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of relaxed, and I was just kind of, all right, it's going to be relaxed, we'll do it that way. Almost got lulled into his pace and got out of my own pace. Did a good job. Hats off to him.
But as the years went by, it was clear how much these guys actually respected each other.
It was good to see the highest level of martial artists around the ring watching bare knuckle that night and being thoroughly entertained.
Do you think Conor would adjust quickly to this game?
I think he has a good style for it just because, like I said, that fencing style where you're in and out and you're not taking shots to give shots, you're not that kind of, not like Mexican fighting, I wouldn't say that that's conducive for bare knuckle. I think that bouncy back and forth tag your it style makes for a very good bare knuckle fighter. So Conor has that style. I think he did that well and do well. Just a matter if he's able to, if he's able to get a contract.
But what do you think 2026 holds for the former two-weight world champion Conor McGregor? Does he really have anything left in the tank? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.